How you doing? Trying to figure out where to start with this. Etsy sucks. I've had an Etsy store for probably 2, 3 years, and it's done bugger all business. Back in about January, February this year, I sold my first item, which was a drawing that I did back in, I think, 93. It'll be on the picture. And that was my very first and only sale. It was something that somebody bought, and I posted it to Western Australia. I got my payment, and then at the end of March, I got an email from them saying that we're writing to inform you that after careful review, your Etsy account has been permanently suspended for violating Etsy's terms of use. This may include, but isn't limited to, items listed for sale don't meet our handmade, vintage, or craft supply policies. Right. When you look at the items that I had for sale, candle holders, drawings, pencil drawings, paintings. See that clock made out of bike sprockets? I had that on the store as well. Yeah, that's what I had. Items violate Etsy's prohibited items policy. The shop violates intellectual property policy, and the account owner's information is inconsistent, incorrect, or closely associated with an account previously removed from Etsy. I have never had an account with Etsy ever before. I searched Etsy for anything that was remotely similar to my name or my store name, Ujoga Pivi. Nothing whatsoever. It allowed me to continue to access my store because of any outstanding orders or payments or anything like that. I appealed multiple times. I said to them, like, everything in my store is handmade by me. The candle holders, the clock, all of my drawings, the paintings and drawings, everything on there was handmade by me. Candle holders made out of old pallet blocks, and I had one that was made out of a piece of Tassie oak, a little small round one. The drawings and paintings were drawings that I'd done back. The first one was when I was only like maybe 17, and that was this picture of a section from Alice Cooper's song Poison, because it had that beautiful woman on it. And I had paused the video on our cruddy old TV that we had as a kid, and I was sketching the thing, and then I'd press play, press pause, because it was like a part where the camera would pan up this woman's body, and then she'd drop a pill into a glass. And I panned the video, pausing, and I drew that. Color pencil, charcoal. That's the only thing that I can say that, violating intellectual property, because it was, I said, from Alice Cooper's video. Now, fan art is all over Etsy. There's people doing flat out rip-offs of Disney stuff and Marvel stuff, and they're fine. But I've got one drawing, and that's an intellectual property thing, maybe. Candle holders can't be. It's not like I'm stealing anybody's intellectual property with that. That's just a craft idea. The clock, I had an old sprocket off an old bike, and I built the clock with that and a coffee can base. Prohibited items policy, I know it says in there no pornography. One thing I solved was a colour pencil drawing of the woman in the bath, and you saw her from that here up, but it had bubble bath, and that's like, it was a pencil drawing, it wasn't a photo. And when I've looked at some of the artwork on there, I've seen stuff that sketches that's just showing women sprawled out prostate lying back. Now, it's an art drawing, but that definitely showed a lot more of the human body than mine did, and they're still in the store. I just don't get it. And I constantly kept appealing. I'd, appeal. That was my very first one that I got at the end of March. Now, if I come up to my appeal, and I'll put this up on the screen, I read through their terms of use. I can't see where I violated it. It's decisions that they'd listed, they don't meet their handmade, vintage, or crafts policy. They did. I personally handmade, drew, or painted every item. The items violated prohibited items. No, it doesn't. And if it does, tell me which item it was. They wouldn't even elaborate on that. Intellectual property policy. I said, no, it doesn't. If you believe so, tell me which item. The account owner's information is inconsistent, incorrect, closely associated with anything. I said, all info is consistent. It was my info, my banking stuff, and I have no association with any other accounts. And I said I deserve specific clarification for my suspension. I'd only mailed one sale and was looking forward to continuing. Their response, thank you for your message. Although we appreciate you'd like to continue selling on Etsy, your Etsy account is permanently suspended for violating Etsy's terms of use. Not said precisely why I've been suspended. Terms of use is broad. I read them and I don't agree. The other reasons given, not handmade, inconsistent info, connection with another account, that was an outright lie. None of that was true. And I said I expect to be spoken to, not messaged to say essentially too bad, so sad. Message from Jake. After careful consideration, we've determined your account does not qualify for reinstatement. We've performed a comprehensive review of your account and the information you provided and are unable to reconsider this decision. While we're unable to disclose our internal review criteria or discuss your account status further, if you have questions relating to fulfilling orders, your payment account, or business history, let us know. So in other words, bugger off. Too bad, mate. I think I put through another appeal. I kept going back and tried to clarify flat out what the go was. Like in this email, I said I've gone through all the terms of use and I do not understand how I violated Etsy's terms of use. I had no pornographic, violent, or hate-related material. That was in their terms of use for prohibited items. They're all handmade by me. 3 tea light candle holders, 2 self-portraits, 2 paintings of myself and friends, a pen sketch of an old girlfriend, a sketch of a horse, a coloured pencil sketch of a girl in a bath, image from breasts up, this is the only item I've sold, a colour pastel sketch from a girl from an old music video clip. No branding issues here that I can see, it's just a picture of a girl, a clock I made from bike sprockets. This is the only store I've ever created. If anyone else has a similar name to mine and has been suspended, 1, they've copied my brand name because that's mine. 2, they obviously did the wrong thing and it wasn't me. Fine, Etsy has the right to suspend people, but they have a moral duty to explain exactly why. Saying that someone's violated the terms of use, which is massive, isn't right. I think I deserve better. But they just sent back the same status, the same information they sent to me. I'm no longer able to sell or buy on Etsy in any account. The suspension applies to this account and any other account I am involved in operating. Any accounts I create or use will be terminated. I can't even create another account. I couldn't go and use a new account and try and sell my stuff again. They're saying I would be permanently deleted again. Can you understand the shirt now? I put through another appeal and it said, what are the actions I've taken to address my suspension? I said, everything's been removed from my store by Etsy, so I'm unsure as to what items caused my suspension. Everything I'd made is handmade. Most of the drawings and paintings date back to the late 1990s when I was drawing more. I've not tried to sell anything that should be deemed as prohibited. Nothing was pornographic. I've sold one item which was a partial nude female. No lewd poses, no genitalia exposed. I don't know what intellectual property I could have violated. My only thought is a drawing I did from an Alice Cooper music video where I paused the video back in '93 to create a drawing. Alice Cooper isn't in the drawing, but I did label it as from his video. My wife said that was probably the problem. And I said I do believe it could be regarded as fan art, which I've seen lots of. And although I was allowed, as the tags existed for it, it was also a one-off item, not mass-produced. If that were the case, I believe I could have been asked to remove that one item before suspension. How was my info inconsistent? I've never had another account. I've had this one account for years and only begun trying to sell my art in 2020. I think I opened this thing back in 2017. And last month was my first sale, so February 2023. The final email I got was from Ra at Etsy. We're writing to inform you that after careful review, your Etsy account has been permanently suspended for violating Etsy's terms of use. You are no longer able to sell or buy on Etsy in any account. I can't even create an account to buy stuff from somebody else. And I've got friends on Etsy that I wanted to buy stuff from. This suspension applies to this account and any account you are involved in operating. Any accounts you create or use will be terminated. We're unable to continue discussing your account status unless you respond to this email appealing this decision. If you've already filed an appeal and have received notification your account will remain permanently suspended, then we're unable to provide further information on this matter. We wish you well in your future endeavours. Go suck it, Etsy. And I'm trying to be really polite because I don't want to swear all over my videos. But I just find that this is totally unreasonable. It sucks balls, seriously. When I've seen so many other accounts violating the terms of service in terms of pornography or gun related stuff, secret gun safe, secret gun boxes. I'm copying other people's stuff and selling it. Disney or Frozen or Marvel or anything like that type of drawings. I began using Etsy because of the exposure you get from it. The fact that you can, so many people can find you on there. I just don't know where else I'm supposed to go now. My account is completely gone. It stayed there for a while so I could go in and see my stuff. But now, completely gone, completely suspended. And I don't know, do I do something under a fake name completely different to this? That doesn't change my banking details. I created one of those accounts. I can't even think of what it's called, but you couldn't use PayPal in here. If you wanted to get payments, you had to create a special account that goes with Etsy. What am I supposed to do about that now? I see so many other people and they talk about how they sell on Etsy and they can make a living off it. I was just trying to make pocket money. This hurts. This really hurts. I honestly believe this has been made in error. There's nothing in my stuff that violates their terms. And if anybody can honestly tell me where I'm violating the terms of service with this stuff, I've shown you everything that I've put on there. I've heard other people say that Etsy's bad because of the fees and that sort of stuff. But it's a worldwide marketplace. I was just using it for Australia. Posting stuff from here of any sort is prohibitively expensive. To be told your own handmade stuff is not handmade and it's prohibited and violates the terms of service, that's a gut punch. It's a real gut punch. Caution, I'm a grumpy old man, but on video I am not going to voice exactly how I feel. And I'm glad I waited to do this video. It's been on my mind since this last email. Jake from Etsy was the very final one. June 1st. It took them a full month to reply back because I think my last thing was the 24th, 25th of April. They came back and just said they can't reconsider the decision. You can't even find someone to call and talk to. It just seems so heartless that to not explain what it was, to not point out specifically what it was that had your account terminated. They've given 4 reasons that are so broad, and none of them are true. Everything's handmade. Nothing was in their prohibited list. Nothing violated intellectual property rights, unless it was that one drawing from Alice Cooper, the video. But that showed nothing that was branded. And I've never had another store. I've never been involved in any other store that's violated terms or been suspended. This is my one and only store. I made one sale and it's gone. I was feeling really happy. Like, I haven't been pushing it, but I was feeling really happy that it finally had sold something. I thought, cool, I can start just selling my drawings. But where do I go to now? I can make my own website, which I do intend on doing, and I can sell stuff from my own website. That doesn't see, with my exposure, that won't get the amount of eyes on it that I would get on Etsy. I can try through my eBay store, but I don't think people are going to be going to eBay to buy original art or handcrafted items. People are going on there to buy stuff from brands or resellers, trying to grab a bargain from secondhand stuff. If you've got any suggestions on how I can, what's the best way for me to go forward in selling the things that I make, please do it. Please comment below. I can use as much support as possible right now. I'm just glad that selling things and using Etsy to do it was not my way of providing all my income. I've got a full-time job. This was just going to be a side hustle if it took off. It was art from decades ago. That one drawing that I sold was 30 years old. I've just hung on to my art. I thought it'd be nice to try and sell it. You suck, Etsy. You suck.